We're in the moment. Jesse, what's your name?
Yep, Jesse Pecka.
Betska?
Pecka, yeah.
Petska? Okay.
Yeah.
Where are you from?
Wilbur, Nebraska. A little town between Crete and Beatrice.
Okay. Born and raised in the whole Nebraska state, or
Yeah.
you travel around?
No,
Or?
5 miles from Wilbur. I was, my parents have a farm there. It's been in the family a long time. I think we had a 150-year certificate or something like that.
Family farm that was 150. Wow.
I think it was the homesteaders or whatever did their land grab. I think that was one.
The gold rush?
No, the land grab. They did the government would give away 80 acres to whoever wanted to get rid of the rocks and make it farmable. Basically.
Yeah.
So here's your 80 acres. You got to Oklahoma had a little bit more of a race for it, but
Okay.
Nebraska, I think you just sign up for it.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
A little history lesson there, I guess.
Yeah. And so what's up with... You're not a farmer?
I started farming.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I stayed home from school sometimes, when I was 12, to cultivate and see what he had to work. And I was farming at a really young age. I think.
Like driving the tractor?
Yeah, the truck. I think we had a 48 Dodge, and he wanted me to saw them between the hay bales, so he put it in low, granny low.
Yeah.
I remember my little brother trying to run the pedals, and I just stand on the seat and steer. And
What?
Yeah, and I just drive through yeah.
Your little brother would do the pedals.
Well, he was always sitting on the floor. I don't think he was doing the pedals, but
How does that work? You would stand on the seat,
yep.
and your little brother would mess with the pedals, and you guys would...
Yeah, he couldn't do much down there. They're pretty, but he was down there. I always thought he was messing with the gas and stuff, but he didn't. Dad just jumped out and he was blowing the bales in the back of the truck,
Oh, so you weren't actually driving it?
Yeah.
Oh, you were?
By myself.
Okay.
He was outside. Yeah, he was outside. I had to be maybe 6 or 7, I guess.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's fun. Okay, so you kind of grew up in cars, hot rods. Did you have a favorite car, your first car? What were those?
Dad gave me some really cool stuff to drive. And I could drive a different one every day if I wanted to. I had GTOs and Dodge Chargers. A lot of Mopars. Dad's a big Mopar nut. Barracudas. Duster. Or Blari. Dodge Van 78 had the side pipes. It was from the hippie days, I guess, or the disco days.
Yeah.
The conversion bands they do with
Yeah.
the shag carpeting and that. We had
Yeah.
It was badass.
Have you seen the one that we built?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, we put a 392 Hemi in it.
Really?
Yeah, it's all shag car. It's all kind of
That's badass.
weird looking, but
Yeah, that 392 is one heck of a motor. It's probably my favorite.
really.
Yeah, it was like the beginning of the performance Chrysler Hemis.
When was that?
The 392, you could get them in Imperials. They were a Chrysler motor, and I think they were.
It wasn't
I think
50s.
58, oh, yeah,
Really?
50s, yeah.
They had three...
53 was the first year of the V8 for Chrysler. 52 or 53 was the first Hemi V8.
So what does 392 mean? Just the
It's,
displacement?
Okay, so you had a 331 or that was like a Red Ram. Those were like the Dodges or DeSotos. And they were a big head with a little baby piston. If you pulled the heads off, you're like, what the heck? This looks silly. They were low horsepower. And the 392 was the first monster, I guess. I think there was a 334 that was actually close to that too. That was kind of on the way there, like a 56 Dodge or something. But yeah, the 392 is a monstrosity. It's basically the 426 is what it became, and that's the one everybody wants,
So what's different from the 50s 392 to like the 392 Hemi that's in the Dodge story?
Okay, that's a whole different animal, but it's kind of cool how Chrysler did that with the 392. I like that. They did. Okay, so the old Hemi, say the 392 was a runner. It looked great in rat rods and that because it's a monster of an engine. It's the old elephant engine. And they, so I'm trying to think here. I think 61 or 62, Chrysler started messing around with the 426 drag or the NASCAR 426 Hemi. I know 64 had them, 63 had them. And they ran that through 71, and that was the last production year of the 426 Hemi. I think so. It had to be 60 or 61 would be the last production year of the 392. And I always expected Chrysler to come out with the 426 in these Challengers or Chargers.
Yeah.
I know, and you can buy the aftermarket.
So you can conversion.
Yeah, you can get a plug and play 426. I got that, the Hemi Fint.
Is that what that is?
Yeah.
A Hemi Fint?
Hemi Fint, yeah.
So what is a Hemi Fint?
They're elephant engines, it's
Just big.
just big.
Okay.
And the Hemis didn't run as good as the Max wedges did. So if you had like a 383 Max wedge or 440 Max wedge or 426 Max wedge, the wedge motors were less maintenance. So you could get in it, start it, and drive it around town for years and not have to worry about setting anything. The Hemi was a solid cam motor, and it needed to be adjusted, the valves did. So if you had a regular everyday person and you were in that Hemi, 3 months down the road, you need to go to the mechanic and you need to have those valves adjusted. 3 months after that, you need to go back to the mechanic and have those valves. If you didn't do that, it kept falling further and further out of synchronicity. So
Yeah, that makes sense.
It would be harder on fuel. It would be less power. It'd be popping and binging and dieseling when you shut it off. So
That's why people threw them away too.
they weren't practical. Yeah, they were ahead of their time, kind of. But something the computer age fixed all that with these Chevys now, and a lot more alloys. And yeah, it's a great time to be alive, I think.
Yeah,
especially in what it was. I'm kind of waiting to see what Chrysler does again here.
I think they're going to keep supercharger fat V8s. That's their motto. That's their thing.
That Hellcat's amazing.
Yeah,
it is.
The Demon or just anything.
That 392 with that
Whipple supercharger. Yeah, man, I love that. I love
screamer,
that.
Ain't it? That's so neat.
It's interesting because I didn't grow up in the '60s. Imagine that.
Not either.
So, okay.
Yeah.
How old are you?
I was born in '72.
Oh, that's cool. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, interesting. So you're more like 80s, 90s.
Yeah, I think I went to Motley Crue in '87, and I think I seen Metallica in like '86.
Wow.
And Metallica was nobody then.
Really?
Yeah, no, they didn't get mainstream until the mid '90s, I think. Well, they sold out the Inner Sandman and all that.
Yeah. Yo, okay, yeah. Yeah, it's interesting because I didn't know cars came out. I thought they just progressively got slower and slower the older you got, but no, they just got sometimes crazier and crazier with way less like safety, So when you guys are like, you don't get it, like we would terrorize the town, we would do crazy stuff. I was always imagined with like a 200 horsepower big car, and I was like, you got like 13-second quarter miles, like really, really slow. I mean, that's fast, but not compared to the Demon 170. But it sounds like 500 horse was still pretty easy to get out of factory.
No, not at all. 335, 426. The 426 was 425 horsepower out of the factory. It was probably a little underrated for
right.
insurance purposes or whatever. But the 440 had, if I remember right, 375 with the HP 440. So you had a Charger RT70. That would be, it was just a 4-wheel car. It'd be I think it was 375, and 390 was the 2.4s or the 6-pack. But there are a lot of tweaking you can do and get it up to 500 no time at all. Yeah,
you were telling me a story about, if I'm not mistaken, it was you and you had a red light on O Street in this car, and the front end lifted up.
I was the one that was racing the Supra. It was a Supra.
One guy.
I was selling cars at I think I was at Russell Chrysler Plymouth. I was the finance manager there, so I get a pop in whenever I wanted to take home for the weekend.
Right.
Intrepids and Concords are not my thing. I mean, so I would just pick something off the used lot, like 50 brand new neons on that lot we could never sell. But one time they had a Corvette come in, and it was a 92, 93. It was nothing real special, but it was a Corvette.
Yeah.
And I was out, the stick shift, so I was out jamming the gears on O Street. And I was heading towards Eagle, and right at that stoplight, the last one, I would have been 84th then, I think. And it was the Supra came up and hit all these lights underneath it. This little Japanese kid, and it had all lit up, and T-tops were out, and I was like, and he went, sounded like he turned on a vacuum cleaner. Like, what the? I ain't never seen anybody beat me so bad. That thing just flew. That would be the second gen Supra. I think it was 98, 99. Those were my favorite.
Really?
Yeah.
Like an all white?
It was all white. It was pearl white. But it was just, I like that body style. I know the first one, some people like that body style, but I like the second gen.
Do you have a favorite car?
Yeah, I mean, see, I'm weird when it comes to cars. I like my old 50s and 60s stuff. So,
I noticed, yeah.
Yeah, so that's tough.
Probably a 2025 Escalade? No, I'm joking.
Yeah, no. And the new Cadillac's got that diesel in them. They're pretty nice.
That's cool.
Yeah, you would never know it. Shoot, I don't even know. 60 Dodge Dart Phoenix probably is my favorite car.
Phoenix? Is that like a big tail?
It was that very little
wing.
tail. They were a really good looking car. Really, it's kind of like Christine without the big
Christine.
fins. Christine, movie Christine, Stephen King. So my dad's big on the 58 Plymouth Furies. That's what that is. We got a few of those out there. When I was in high school, I drove a 58 Dodge pickup, short box stepside, and my dad had put a 383 Police Interceptor, and it had a solid lift cam, and this thing was truly it's fun to drive. So it's got a steering wheel that's just like this big, and it's got so much play in it. And the push button was over here, so there were people shifting over here. I'm pushing buttons over here. That's how you shift the Chryslers. Yeah.
Weird.
Yeah, and
Was that the one you put weights in the back?
yeah, I would throw cement blocks in the back, with some air on the tires, because every morning and every day before and after school, there was like 15 of us that would drag race.
Highway, gravel road.
Highway. We'd have it set up. There'd be a flagman. It's just like you see on the Street Outlaws, really. We had such good, nice longs. So we had I can't remember, the county line was one of them. I can't remember the other one. It was out more towards Tobias. That was a little further out, but we had good times. So I hung around with these rich farming kids whose dads, I shouldn't say that, I don't know that. They had money. So they had Chevelles. They're mostly Chevy guys. I can remember one Ford, and I'll tell you that story. So these kids had money. And if I ever beat them, they come back next week and beat me. And there's nothing I could do as far as like big, put heads or, they could do some big things. And they were fast cars. I was kind of respected the 70's Chevelle just because two of my friends had them. I had a brown one and a black one. They ran.
Really?
Yeah, and then I guess Matt Kunze had a 63 Impala with a 327, and that thing ran pretty good. He knew how to slam in gears, too. The Chevys and the 4-speeds were where it was at. You don't want a Chrysler with a 4-speed.
Why?
It's like a Saginaw, Rock Crusher, or a Muncie. The throw is short and for racing, basically. You get, Chrysler, it's like there's a lot of movement, and it's really hard to,
Not practical for
it's
racing.
not, you got to go further. Yeah, not practical for racing, especially drag racing, where you want it to be consistent and you want to have the same time every time. You don't want to break out or go. You know what I mean? So if you got an automatic, it's going to be automatic. All you got to worry about is hitting that light and finishing. You don't have to worry so much about shifting.
You ever get pulled over? You ever get caught?
So my mom and dad had a '71 Dodge Charger SC gunmetal gray 380. That's probably my favorite car.
That sounds beautiful.
It
Gunmetal
Gunmetal
383.
gray, yeah. It had all the aluminum, the fancy trim on the interior. It was a neat car. I can still smell that thing. It had such a good leather smell. Anyway, it was a really nice car. They bought a new in Exeter. I think it was her camp. And actually, that owner of that dealer came to my parents and wanted to buy it back just recently. That's the one I did the 100-mile-an-hour e-brake corners with on gravel.
You have to tell that story.
Yeah, I was. So yeah, we used to raise hell, me and the farm kids, So we'd have junker cars that we just.
If it blew up,
I mean,
whatever.
it was just a race to school. I mean, it was like a Dukes of Hazzard. It really was. I had a.
Oh, I bet that would have been
Yeah.
so fun.
I see a guy. We had this one hill that I swear to God that Galaxy jumped over the other guy's car. I swear to God it did.
Like, actually?
Yeah, I think it did. I really do. He was down in the sun going this way. It was amazing. It was. So I did that with my Firebird. I had a '78 Firebird Formula. That was my beater car, and it was rusty. And I hit that same thing, and it was like it hit. Windshield cracked. It was like I think that bent something. It was like a banana. I had to park it. Yeah, there was a lot of rust on that car. It was fun though. That's when you could still buy cars for $200. It was sitting in an alley. There's a Firebird Formula. I'll give you $400. I think I gave him $200. And that night I got it running. And then I just drove it to school for a long time.
Jeez, what about the Dodge Charger story?
Yeah, okay, so, I know I'm going to tell this sad. So, yeah, it was that car was fun to drive. It was a 33 HP.
4-speed?
No, automatic. But it was a neat, most people don't like that Dodge Charger, but that's my favorite year. So, it was the last year of the true muscle cars. 71 had the steel cranks, they had the regular fuel, and 72 they went to emissions. They went to converters, but unleaded cast cranks. That to me, that's over with. You want a steel crank engine. Well, anyway, so it ran good, and it had over 100,000 miles on it. But it was our family car that got retired to me. It was still a really nice car. I did some crazy stuff. So anyway, I was practicing my e-brake corners. If we, on gravel, I was doing them at 80. I tried to step up to 100. So So what you do is you get the slide and you throw that e-brake and you slide. And you kind of want to pitch the car so it's going to be, so when you pull that e-brake, you're about 20 feet away from, actually you're going to try to hit the ditch, but your momentum's carrying you past that. So you want to kind of go up and then hit the road, and hopefully if everything goes right, you're going to pull the e-brake and you're going to slingshot yourself on that other road. I was practicing. And I was on my lunch break from the grocery store. I must have been 14 or 15. I wasn't supposed to be driving. Creed anyway. And yeah, I hit that stop sign at 100. And next thing I know, when everything stopped moving, I was looking straight up. It was just sky. I was like, what the hell? And yeah, it was a big ditch. And the car was literally like standing up, and the stop sign was wrapped around the rear axle like 3 or 4 times. It was bashed in the corner, bashed in the door. Yeah, it was just on my lunch break at the grocery store. I don't know why I drove really crazy.
I can tell.
Yeah, I rode a lot of cars with my dad and mom. Yeah. There's a lot. They're all out there yet. They don't sell anything after I blow them up or wreck them. They tell a story.
Dude, we'll have to get like a tour.
Oh God, it was an '81 Eldorado.
What'd you do to it?
It was an 864 system. It was an 864 lean burn. It was shut down cylinders. It was a terrible idea. It was like the doggiest car you ever. I'm out. My mom and dad are on vacation in Texas or something, and I take that Cadillac in on O Street. I'm drag racing Novas and stuff with this Cadillac. Yeah, and what's wrong with me? Yeah, so then screwed up the transmission. So I'm trying to drive it back to Crete with only second gear, and it got hot. And then I warped some heads, or I took out the transmission and motor.
Nice.
Yeah,
wow.
That car's a really nice looking car you had out there.
Still there from that moment.
Oh, yeah,
Weird.
I got an inch of dust on it, sitting in the Quonset. Light powder baby blue.
How's the body on it?
Oh, it's perfect. Yeah, I mean, it's
literally.
Someone parked it in '84, really.
Wow.
You know?
Jeez.
Yeah.
All right. Do you have a?
I was going to tell another story. I don't remember what it was. I was going to get back to it, but I forgot.
Got the Dodge Charger. Got some O Street action.
Yeah, I had a '73 Barracuda. That was my high school car, basically, when I turned 16. I bought it in '86 or '87. I'm the second owner on it. It's body code black. 73. It's just sitting out there.
It's so weird to think about. All these stories, you still have the car.
Yeah, I know.
Like, yeah, I am the second owner still.
Yeah.
To this story.
Yeah, yeah. The
That's
second
cool.
owner. And that's kind of cool. I don't think the car's got that many miles, but it's rough. But it's definitely worth fixing. It's a Barracuda. I remember in like '93, I had a bunch of Trans Ams at Firebirds, because that's kind of what my go-to was. Because I could Crestwood had nothing rear-wheel drive other than the Viper, and then they made a Stealth that was all-wheel drive, and basically a 3000 GT Mitsubishi.
Yeah.
And that's why I started buying those Chrysler Conquests later on. The turbo, those were fun. Front engine, rear wheel, it's like a Supra, but Mitsubishi made them. And so anyway, I lost my license for the Trans Ams. I drove over 100 miles an hour on the interstate, and I got popped maybe twice. Must have been twice. I lost my license for 6 months. And so I needed something with really cheap insurance, because they had like a work permit kind of thing. So I bought that '71 Dodge Demon.
What?
Yeah. So my wife.
Whoa.
Yeah.
I needed something practical,
Yeah,
so I got a Demon 170.
Yeah, no, nothing like that. This is a slant six.
Oh,
It looks
okay.
like a Duster with a dark front end.
Okay.
They were actually only made them 2 years. And yeah, so my wife worked at it used to be called the Thrifty Nickel. I don't know if it still exists or not. But she didn't get all the advertisements that would come in. And this one popped up. It was $400. And so I went and bought it, and I drove that thing for probably 2 years. I remember, yeah, it was a good car. And even the slant sixes were solid, like not performance.
Reliable?
Yes, very reliable, and you almost cannot kill them. I have killed one, but it took some doing.
Have you ever seen a motor blow up?
Yeah. I have many times.
Many times?
Many
Like, what is that
times.
like?
Well,
Like, do pistons literally shoot through the hood?
yeah,
They
rods
can?
can go out the side of the, yeah. I mean, so I used to circle track race in Beatrice. Everybody's running around Chevys because they're cheap to build. I had this Roadrunner, '71 Roadrunner, or maybe '72. But anyway,
What is that, a Chrysler?
it's a Plymouth.
Plymouth?
Yeah.
Got it.
So basically, the Roadrunner is the Plymouth version of the Charger, basically. It's the same, it's a B body, same size, same weight. You ever seen, what's that, they have like 20 of those movies out with Vin Diesel.
Yeah, yep. Yeah, that car he has is
No,
black.
He's got a black one.
Yep.
He shoots they shoot him in with the spikes
Cool
in it.
scenes, yeah.
Yeah, and that's a 71 GTX. It's a badass car.
Okay.
I'd love to have that. But yeah, so Dad was a big drag racer in the late '60s, and that's all he did was pump cars into us kids. So us 3 boys anyway. And actually, Laura ended up marrying Vuko from Walker Tire. So we all kind of have a
Car family.
yeah, big time. Yeah. So there was no choice for me. I mean, I was going to do body work originally,
Yeah.
you know. I was a really good mechanic. At a really early age, Dad was having me, you know, I did rebuild the John Deere A. I must have done that at 13 or 14. I know I put that 440 together at 12. I had that car ready to go to drive when I was 14. Yeah.
So what? Just learn by practice. Just get out there and do it.
No, I was a fat kid.
Fat?
Fat.
You're a big fella.
I was fat. I had like boobs and like
Really?
like
All this
5
with
chins.
boobs. Okay.
Yeah, so I didn't.
5 chins.
That was bad. I was by the time I remember.
You were the rich fat kid.
Wasn't rich.
Your parents were rich.
They weren't rich.
Okay.
The Dad had crates and crates of hot rod magazines from the '60s in the garage in boxes. So what I do is I must have been 6, 7, all the way till I was 12. I read those. That's how I knew the torque and the horsepower.
I was very
it's
impressed.
all, yeah, it's all in there in my head. Because I read these. Instead of getting beat up on the bus, I would just read the hot rod magazines. I still got beat up though.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, there were some bullies.
Yeah.
Kids. But now they don't mess with me.
Yeah. Alrighty. Well, I am using this podcast as a intro into Jesse, and then this is more the first car style podcast we've actually had on Muscle Car. The rest have been Todd Francisco. Tell us about your business, things like that, your youth, what you learned, some of your goals.
Are we about out of time?
I'd say I really enjoy it. I want to see how it does.
I have a lot more stories.
I know that's the thing. We could turn this could be 3 hours.
Oh, I mean,
And it would be
got to my body
killer.
shop here,
Yeah.
Crotch rocket, you know, wheelies at 90 miles an hour and stuff like that. Right up in the house.
Stay tuned. Next episode coming soon. Thank you. Thank you, Jesse.
Yes.
Boom.